They tell you why you're here? They didn't tell you why you're under arrest?
No.
Okay. It's involving that relationship with... Okay. Obviously, we both know why you're here.
I'll do it to you.
Okay. Is that what you want?
Will I be going home today?
No.
A sixth-grade teacher, 27 years old, married. By every measure, a woman who had built a life worth protecting. She had a stable career, a partner, and the respect of her community. Yet, she made choices that destroyed everything she had built. What you just watched is the moment Brittany Zamora realized it was over. Her interrogation was filmed in March 2018 in Goodyear, Arizona, and it reveals the moment a woman confronted the full weight of her actions. Over the next 45 minutes, you will hear how one father's vigilance, one monitoring app, and one conversation with his son brought an entire criminal case to light.
Morning, folks. I'm Officer McFadden. I'm the school resource officer.
All right, so I know you already know a little bit about where we're at now. So Mrs. Zamora's been placed on administrative leave. She won't be coming in today, and she'll be on administrative leave pending the investigation. And she's not to have any contact with any district employees, any students or parents.
She's never contacted us.
Okay. My question is, how did this all begin?
How do you?
How did we find out?
Correct, yes. How did it come to light?
So, I have an app on my son's phone.
Okay.
We got him a new phone, and he was wanting to shut his door at night. When we told him, you sleep with the door open, he was just showing more interest in girls. And I had a conversation with him, and he says, yeah, I talk to girls, but they're just my friends. So when we got the new phone, I put this app on his phone, and it alerts me. It's called Sentry. So yesterday I got the alert, and I kept getting alerts back to back because the word baby kept being used. So I'm reading through the conversations, and I've done this before with other conversations of his as well. But this time I saw at the bottom that it had Mrs. Zamora Instagram profile.
Okay.
It was her name. And I'm familiar with her profile name because she's messaged me through Instagram as well, tutoring and offering help. And so I recognized, and I told my husband, and we looked it over, and then what confirmed it is her first name was used in the conversation, where either he wrote it or she wrote it.
Okay.
And they put last name. And so then the conversation just kept on, and it was like he was talking to a girl, like his girlfriend. So I showed my husband the conversation, and then when he came home, we talked to my son, and we told him, we need you to be completely honest right now. We already know the answer to everything we're going to ask, so we just need you to tell us the truth.
Okay.
So we showed him the conversation, and we said, who is this? Who are you talking to? And he said, my teacher.
Okay.
So then my husband, we're very blunt with our kids, and we're open, and we've had conversations with him growing up and all that is expected. And so my husband just told him,
Okay.
have you done anything with your teacher? Did you have sex with your teacher? And he said yes.
He said yes.
He was scared. He knew something was happening before we questioned him, because I came home and I took the phone and I shut his computer off. I took all electronics he could access, and I told him, he kept trying to ask me what's going on, and I told him, you'll find out when Dad gets home. We'll talk when Dad gets home. So he was worried. He knew that something was up.
Right.
And then after we talked to him and told him, he just kind of got quiet, and he didn't know what to say.
Shaking.
Shaking, saying he's cold.
Let that sink in for a second. A 13-year-old boy, shaking, cold, terrified, sitting across from his parents after admitting that his teacher had been taking advantage of him. What Brittany Zamora did was not a relationship, not a mistake, and certainly not something that can be excused. It was a deliberate pattern of manipulation that began with small, seemingly harmless messages and gradually crossed every possible line of professional and moral conduct. A child was made to believe that what was happening was normal, that it was special, and it took the courage of his family to put an end to it.
I know that that is your first name. Tell me about a couple things that you like to do.
I like to play football, write, and draw.
So I like to play football, and you like to write and draw. So tell me about the last time you got a chance to play football. So I heard something happened. Tell me about it. Start at the beginning. Tell me everything, no matter how small the details are, no matter how unimportant you think everything is.
Like from the very beginning, like how it all started.
Like from the very beginning, how it all started.
Well, I was texting my teacher on class prep because she made an announcement to the class that she was going to be at school, and for us to text her because she'll be bored. So she said to like text her so she wouldn't be bored. And I said, "Hi, Miss Mora," and then she texted back, "Hi," and then we just like started texting. I can't remember all we texted, but then she was like, "Would it be weird if I sent you a winky face?" I was like, "No, it's just a winky face, LOL." And then we kept texting, and I don't remember all we texted, but I was in my room, and she said, she was like, "I was bored." She said, "I'm bored." I said, "LOL, I am too." And then she said, "Come over," and I said, "On my way." It like put the car, and I was like, "JK." And then we were talking about a school dance, and she said, "Are you gonna come?" And I was like, "I don't think so, I might though." And she was like, "Oh, Salty Bay," and she called herself like Bay. And I was like, and I just like brushed off, I was like, LOL. And then I don't remember talking, I don't remember what else we talked about. And like everything else I don't remember. But, yeah, we would flirt a lot. Like, and we would like be out at recess, and I would talk to her, and we would flirt at recess. And then, our principal said that we couldn't do that. We couldn't talk at recess no more, that I needed to go hang out because other kids were getting like jealous that I was talking to her and not them. And so I stopped talking to her at recess. And then I would just keep texting. I would text her.
Tell me about that. Start at the beginning, go all the way to the very end.
The first time she did, I was at my grandparents' house, and she texted me, and she was all like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey," she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm about to go to bed. I'm at my grandparents' house." She's like, "Are you alone?" And I was like, "Well, they're all sleeping, so sort of." And she's like, "Let me come over." I was like, LOL. And then she's like, "No, I'm serious." And then she's already said this before to me, but I was playing with my little brother outside in my house, and she was all like, "Let me come over so I can show you how much I love you." And I was like, "No, my little brother's here." And then she was like, "Okay," and then she put the sad face. I was like, "I gotta go." And then she was all like, "Okay, I love you." And I said, "I love you too." But she was all like, where is your grandparents' house?" I was like, and then she's like, "Okay, send me the address," because her husband was fishing. And I got into the car, and she started like kissing me, and then she gave me and then I left.
What car does she have?
A Mazda, I think she said. I don't know for sure, but I think she said a Mazda.
What color is it?
It's like a blackish purple.
Tell me more about the car.
It has like a teacher's license plate, but that's all I've seen. And it's really old. Not like really old, but it's just not a nice car.
So you went out to the car. What's the very first thing that happened?
She said, "Hey, baby."
And then what happened?
And I said, "Hey, baby." And then she kissed me, and then like we started like making out, but like, and then I just left because her husband texted her that he was going to be home in an hour.
Her husband was out of town, and while he was gone, Brittany Zamora made the decision to go to her student's grandparents' house, a 13-year-old child. And she acted in ways that were deeply wrong and criminal. Every step she took was planned. She checked that he was alone. She asked for the address. She drove there herself. And when it was over, she returned home as if nothing had happened. The details the boy later shared with investigators. The car, the license plate, the timing were precise, consistent, and impossible to dismiss.
So that time, second time, start at the beginning and tell me everything. So tell me about her clothes.
The second time, the first time she was wearing a sweatshirt and like some really short shorts. And then the first time she was wearing that, and the second time she was just wearing a dress. And we were picking up her bags, and we really had no intention of doing it at that time. And I was saying bye, and then like we started kissing again. And then I'm like, yeah, bro, go outside and make sure nobody comes, because I think the janitors were there. My dad called me. He's like, hey, I'm here at the school. I was like, all right. And then I left.
So, when you started kissing?
He was drawing something on a whiteboard.
So he was there when you were kissing?
Yeah.
Did I get that right? You said she sent you pictures. Tell me everything about pictures.
Sometimes I would ask, and then like sometimes I wouldn't, and she'd be like, "You want a picture?" And I'll say yeah.
Well, what do the pictures look like?
They'd just be like her stuff, or like one time she sent me like a full body picture of like her in this like outfit, like you didn't have anything right here, or like her stuff.
And how did she send that to you? Like what was the social media platform that?
Instagram.
Instagram. Did you screenshot any of those? Is there a time that someone else saw one of those pictures?
Well, one time she sent me a picture of her like covering herself, and she was in her underwear, and my friend, he seen that one.
And what friend? What's his last name? And how do you know him?
He's been my best friend since 3rd grade.
And do you have any idea when the first pictures were sent? No? Okay. So, I understand how all of this makes you feel.
Right now? My stomach just hurts. Like, I don't feel good.
Right here in my stomach just hurts, so I cannot feel good. Those are the words of a 13-year-old boy sitting in a forensic interview room, trying to describe how he felt. While he sat there, struggling to make sense of what had happened to him, investigators across town were assembling every piece of evidence she had left behind. Digital messages, location data, witness accounts, and records that painted a clear and damning picture. She had left a trail, and that trail led directly back to her.
Hey, Brittany, come on over here.
Yeah.
Did you double lock?
I didn't. I
Okay.
don't see more of my keys.
Okay. Brittany, I'm going to turn your wrist in here, okay?
No, we just want to make sure they don't pinch you.
Okay.
So we double lock them so they don't close any tighter, okay? That way you don't hurt you. Otherwise you'll squeeze shut.
Do you have anything on you that's going to hurt me, poke me, stick me, Brittany?
What's gonna what?
Do you have anything on you that's going to hurt me, poke me, stick me, anything like that?
No.
Anything dangerous? No weapons? Okay.
Can we take my ring off?
Yeah, can you?
Yes. Am I gonna be able to put it back on?
Yeah, you will.
You'll
This is
stay
your
with
personal property.
So everything that goes in this bag.
I'm going to take your necklace off as well.
So we'll document it.
Can you unhandcuff me so I can take my belly button ring out?
Your what?
My belly
We'll
button.
let you.
We'll
take
do that at the
Okay,
jail.
okay.
We're not gonna have
Or
you
at the
do
station.
that
rather.
up here.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And then we'll have you do the same with the nose ring too.
Right now?
Not right now.
No, it's back there. Yeah.
I'm gonna help
I got it. Okay. Alright, go ahead and face the vehicle for me.
She says she does have a wire.
A wire? Okay. Alright, what I'm going to do is a blade technique. I'm just going to go below the breast, okay? And then you're wearing a dress. Other than that, you don't have anything stuffed in your bra?
No.
Okay. Okay. And then is this just an outer?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can take it off.
No, you can keep it on. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. Can you turn towards me? Open up your mouth. Lift up your tongue. Okay. One female in custody on board. En route to ops. Starting 4-6.
Copy.
Do you want the window down a little bit? Yep. And then we are going to go over to that wall. This way. This way.
Stop at the wall?
Yep.
Did they tell you why you're here? They didn't tell you why you're under arrest?
No.
Okay. It's involving that relationship with... Okay. So I told you a little bit ago that I would was going to come and talk to you and give you the opportunity to tell me what's going on. Okay. Obviously, we both know why you're here. How long have you, or where do you work right now, Brittany?
Lost Reese's Academy.
And how long have you been there?
Since July.
What's your first year?
Well, at that school.
At that school. And where were you before that?
Littleton Elementary School.
And how long were you there?
From July 2013 to May 2017.
And what's your position right now?
Sixth grade teacher.
You said this is the first time you've been in trouble.
I mean,
Yeah. And you're 27, so you made it a long ways. So I'm not going to judge you, and people do make mistakes. So there's mistakes that are made in life, and they happen, and it's basically how people move on from those is kind of who they are as a person. So I'm not going to deny that, that it's something, and I'm sure you're not either, that it's something that shouldn't have happened. But I'm not going to call you a monster or anything like that and say you did something so, crazy that you're a horrible person. So I wanted you to explain, how this came to happen.
can I wait to have an attorney?
You can. Is that what you want?
Okay.
All right.
I just don't know if I go about it.
That's fine.
Will I be going home today?
No.
So will I be in jail? Do these type of things happen in public?
They don't have to be made public, but you've kind of been in the school industry long enough to know that when something happens at a school, letters end up having to go out and people ask questions. Did you have any more questions for me?
What are the next steps?
The next step is basically you do go to jail
Great.
tonight. I submit some paperwork.
I'm little. They're gonna tear me apart.
Well, if you have problems with somebody, you can voice that to somebody, okay? And if there are problems, they can isolate you.
How long do I stay in jail for?
Basically, the way it usually happens is you go down there and you see an IA judge within 12 hours, and that judge will determine what they want to do.
Okay.
And so they will determine if they are going to let you out on a certain amount of bond.
Okay.
And they make that determination on, kind of how...
I am the best husband in the world.
Okay.
So
Well,
shame.
what's that?
Just feels bad. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I have the best husband in the world. That is what Brittany Zamora said in that interrogation room while facing serious criminal charges. Her husband had no idea what had been happening. He was absent during her worst decisions, and yet he was the first person she thought about when the walls closed in. She was not reflecting on the harm done to a child. She was not thinking about the boy sitting in that interview room with a stomach full of dread. She was focused entirely on her own situation, her own future, and what this meant for her life.
I'm not going to ask you any more questions because you said you wanted an attorney.
What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now. You are a monster. You are a pedophile. You're a child molester. Do you understand me? Do me a favor. Do not call this number back again. The next time you'll hear from me will be in court. And make sure you let your husband know that you like the 13-year-old boys. And I am coming for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a wonderful evening, okay, you stupid.
Can you explain to me? Can we meet, to talk about this? Is
Miss-
there something we can settle out, outside?
Oh yeah, that's what we can do, so I can give you a chance to do it to some other kid. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. No, Ms. Zamora, do me a favor. Do not call me back again. Do you understand me? Make sure you tell your husband what's going on.
He is right here. Can he talk to you?
Oh yeah, put your husband on the phone. I'm more than happy to talk to that dumb too.
Hey, man.
Hey, don't say hey man to me. You got a monster.
That phone call, that raw, unfiltered, furious phone call from a father who had just found out that his son, his 13-year-old child, had been deeply wronged by the woman he trusted with his education. That call captures everything. On one side, a parent in complete anguish. On the other, a woman trying to contain the situation, asking if things could be handled privately, if a conversation could make it go away. She was not reaching out to take responsibility. She was reaching out to protect herself. And that instinct, to manage, to minimize, to avoid, would follow her all the way into that interrogation room. That is the sentence that defines this entire case. A 13-year-old boy was told by someone he trusted that their connection was real, that it mattered, and that he was special to her. He had no reason to question it. He was young, impressionable, and entirely unequipped to recognize what was actually happening to him. Every message she sent was designed to pull him closer and keep him quiet. Every word of affection was a calculated step in a process that had nothing to do with genuine care. It had everything to do with manipulation, and Brittany Zamora carried it out with full awareness of what she was doing.
We were picking up our bags, and we really had no intention of doing it at that time. And I was saying bye, and then we started kissing again. And then I'm like, yeah, bro, go outside and make sure nobody comes, because I think the janitors were there. My dad called me. He was like, hey, I'm here at the school. I was like, all right. And then I left.
So, when you started kissing?
He was drawing something on a whiteboard.
The father touched on something critical right there. She made him feel like it was their secret. When someone wants to exploit a child, the first thing they do is build walls of secrecy around that child. They make the child feel that what is happening is something precious and private, something that belongs only to the two of them. Over time, that secrecy becomes a source of shame and confusion. The child does not know how to speak about it or who to turn to. That silence is not accidental. It is engineered. And in this case, it took a father who paid attention and a monitoring app that flagged unusual activity to finally break through it.
You said you wanted an attorney, so did you have any more questions for me?
What are the next steps?
The next step is basically you do go to jail
Great.
tonight. I submit some paperwork.
I'm little. They're gonna tear me apart.
Well, I mean, if you have problems with somebody, you can voice that to somebody, okay? And if there are problems, they can isolate you.
How long do I stay in jail for?
Basically, the way it usually happens is you go down there and you see an IA judge within 12 hours, and that judge will determine what they want to do.
Okay.
And so they will determine if they are going to let you out on a certain amount of bond.
Okay.
And they make that determination on, kind of how.
I am the best husband in the world.
Okay.
So
Well,
shame.
what's that?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Let him know that I am sorry. Those were among the last words Brittany Zamora spoke in that interrogation room. But throughout the entire recorded interaction, she never once clearly acknowledged the harm she had caused to a child. Her expressions of regret circled around her marriage, her reputation, and her future. The boy she had manipulated and hurt was never centered in her words. A forensic investigator sat across from that child while he described a stomachache he could not shake. And not once did the woman responsible for that pain seem to genuinely reckon with it. My son trusted her. We trusted her. That single sentence captures the wound that cases like this leave behind in families. Teachers hold a position of enormous responsibility. Parents hand their children over each morning with the belief that every adult in that building will act with integrity. Brittany Zamora understood that trust better than anyone. She used school platforms to build connections, maintained a friendly presence with parents, and carefully constructed an image of a dedicated educator. That image gave her cover, and it is exactly why cases like hers are so important to talk about openly. Because the people most capable of this kind of harm rarely look the part.
One female. custody on board, en route to ops, starting 4-6.
Copy.
Do you want the window down a little bit? Okay.
Brittany Zamora arrived at Maricopa County Jail that night in March 2018. Her story made national headlines within days. In 2019, she pleaded guilty to 3 felony charges. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison. She is scheduled to be released in March 2038.